I've had 3 other Illinois high school hockey players come out to me personally. They're still not out fully yet, but I've had people come to me, which I love. I love when people feel like they could come to me and be themselves around me. It's awesome. My name is Anthony Arnoni. I am from Chicago, Illinois, more specifically like the Rosemont area, right by the airport. I'm 5 minutes away from the O'Hare Airport. I grew up for all of my life, basically. I've played hockey for 14 years now. So I started when I was, what, 4 years old, 5 years old. I played all throughout high school for my varsity high school hockey team, the Leiden Eagles. I'm currently entering my sophomore year of college, and I am 19 years old.
Cool. And your story got some notable press because you were playing hockey and you were also, was it the prom king?
Homecoming, yeah.
Homecoming.
Yes.
Very cool. And you had a pretty inclusive team, was it?
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so.
Cool. How did you get into hockey?
It's been in my family since my grandfather played hockey, my uncle played hockey, all of my cousins played hockey, and then when it came down to my turn, I played and I fell in love with it too.
I love that. What do you love about the game?
I just think it's so cool. It's a unique sport. It's everyone who watches it instantly just falls in love with the sport. It's so much fun to watch. It's so much fun to play. It's a physical sport. I think that's what people love about it. It's so physical. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I hear every time I say I play hockey or played hockey. People are like, "Oh, I love watching the fighting." That's the first thing people always say is the fighting. And it's true. Hockey's the best.
And how could hockey be better for you, like as a queer individual?
How could it have been better
Or
for me in my experience?
well, your experience or moving forward or as a fan of the sport, like in all aspects.
Yes. I'm gonna go from the lens of my experience,
Yeah.
and I have zero complaints about my team and like how my team was with accepting me, because it was more than what I expected. But as far as the other teams, the first insult that another team would always go for is straight to that, just straight to, the usual derogatory terms.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as that, that could be a little better, but yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. It's tough. I know that was the hardest part for me, was hearing that homophobic or homo-negative language regularly, and before I was out even, and thinking like it's bad or wrong or I can't be myself, and that sort of, that was tough.
Yeah, it is tough. It makes you think. It's like you're surrounded by all these hockey players who say it, and then you're like, ugh, you kind of just, in a way, you feel less than a person. I've had situations like that before.
Yeah, it's difficult, but you rose above it, and uh came out at what, a pretty young age,
15, 16 years old. Yeah.
and lived unapologetically as yourself in this hyper masculine sport, and that's really brave.
Yes, thank you.
Are you still involved with hockey at all?
As far as playing, I have hung up my skates for now, sadly, going into college. But I do still play once in a while with my friends. Like, we'll rent the ice, we'll rent out the ice, we'll go play games with our friends. I still do stuff like that, but as far as like professional, just like playing on a team, I don't do that anymore. Sadly, I miss it so much though.
Do you watch hockey?
Yes, I do.
And what keeps you in it? What keeps you watching, and what keeps you wanting to play and rent ice?
I just think it's how much I miss it. It's just the little things like that, like keep me hooked with the sport, because I don't want to lose that part of myself. So I just have to do things like that now.
I love it. I love it. What gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
Honestly, it's in this sport or in this world now, there's still a lot going on. There's still a lot to fix, but altogether, the progression that we've made as a generation, as players, as individuals, is tremendous. If you look at what we have now and look at what was, 10, 20 years ago, the changes are insane.
Yeah.
Still a lot to be made, but still.
Yeah, definitely, like your generation versus mine, it's
Yeah.
such a difference. And but it's truly the case. And hopefully as they get a little older and are taking over the sport, they will make it even more inclusive.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
and I think you being there probably did that for a lot of people.
It did. I've had a couple times where other high school hockey players in Illinois after I came out, 6 months after I came out, a year after I came out, even non-hockey players all have texted me separately asking and like discovering parts of themselves that they were uncomfortable sharing with anyone. So I've had three other Illinois high school hockey players come out to me personally. They're still not out fully yet, but I've had people come to me, which I love. I love when people feel like they could come to me and be themselves around me. It's awesome.
And I think it's because you didn't, like, you're unapologetically yourself. You haven't fully conformed to the
Oh,
culture. So you are, I see you on socials and whatnot, and how you engage, and you put up stuff with your friends, and you're not afraid to be over the top, fabulous, gay, without any reservations
yeah.
about doing that, and living in that culture. So I think that makes you a safe space because you're so confident in who you
Thank
are.
you. Yes, yes, I do have a great support system that has helped me tremendously. Is my great support system from my gay friends, my hetero friends, whatever friends, and then my family. It just the support system, along with just me being who I am, has helped other people, not even just me, which is kind of cool.
That is cool. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Anything I would like to add? Um, I would like to. I would like to see more NHL teams take on how I'm trying to think of the words to put it.
Social issues?
Yeah, social issues and be more inclusive and allow visibility through players and highlighting experiences and highlighting things that would help other people.
I like that. I think it's really important in the culture that hockey is so insular.
Hmm.
And I don't think a lot of these things are humanized, especially on the men's side of the sport.
Yes, very
And
much
by
so.
doing that, we might get them to shift some behaviors and attitudes,
Hmm.
and make it more inclusive and
100%.
supportive, and
Yes.
educate them.
Yes, when I came out and when I had my statement to help other people, because after I was fully comfortable, after I was sure I was in a safe space, my mission was to help kids. That was my thing. 'Cause I remember as a kid being so hard on myself and being such a negative headspace. And I feel like by bigger organizations and bigger NHL teams taking on these roles, it'll help kids, which is obviously that's what I like to focus on is the kids.
Same, because less than 1% of kids who play sport end up making professional sport. So
Yeah.
it's about developing and growing as human beings, and
Mhm.
empowering through sport.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Your story is one of my favorites. It always has been,
Thank
and
you.
you're so brave.
Thank you for that.